And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The road gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Here tonight, we're going to turn left and right. The Bluegrass Cup Series is in deep for the chase race number 4. And as we scope out the remaining points for the season, Rafael Hubi takes over the lead by 1 point. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and here tonight we see about 13 drivers that are willing to gamble their championship hopes. They put it on out here for the 16 turn configuration here at Charlotte here tonight in Concord, North Carolina. 2.28 miles with 16 turns. This track opened in 1960. We'll still have both of the bank corners in the configuration, but with 2 chicanes and 16 turns, it's going to make it a little difficult. Not what these drivers are probably used to. So as we get set to grid, going trackside now. They're getting lined up down there on the infield now as we speak. Radburn Shutters is going to get the pole. Let's bring them points up on your screen if we would. I know we got that graphic up there. There's the points battle. Hawkins and Hubi have been going back and forth. And with just 1 point separating them, 12 points back to Atkins, who is, as it sits right now, not on the racetrack. 57 of Atkins starts back in 11th position. So let's go down trackside and get your grid. There it is, Radburn Shutters with a 1 minute 19.972. John Schwartz is going to start to his outside. Third spot's going to belong to Rafael Hubi with GT Hawkins in 4th. 5th spot, Brandon Holder with Michael Kostick going to start 6th. 7th position, Jonathan Cofield and David Farmer 8th. Rounding out that top 10 here tonight of the 13-car field, we've got James Silvers and Daniel Cunningham. 2 more cars out there on the grid, Jonathan Atkins and Sean Kaser in the 24. Going to round out this field. The 42, Cody Anderson, not going on the grid right now. So apparently Anderson, okay, there's Anderson now. So he is out on the racetrack. So a lot going on here tonight with the points battle. Hubi starting just ahead of Hawkins. He's going to start on the inside of him. We know that Hubi is good at road courses. We're about to find out what Hawkins has up his sleeve to try to take that points lead back. And with Shutters and Schwartz having a great finish there last week, making the call. The gamble on pit road. able to come out on top. Ending up with, I believe, a top finish there. But it's going to be the 44 of Shutters that's going to lead him into turn 1. So this is into NASCAR 1 and 2 after they go through the infield. Still the banking part of this configuration. There's the entire layout of the Charlotte Roval. And as they come down this backstretch, the bus stop chicane, you can see the steep, very tall rumble strips there. Very easy to hit those, send it off too deep into the corner, end up on the other side going through the cones. Even on pace laps, it's difficult to get through here. You see drivers coming through the chicane, just cutting it because it's so difficult just to pace around here side by side, let alone pass. But here we go. Into NASCAR 3 and 4. The final chicane. Pace car going to pull off. And we're going to start this Roval race the right way. With Radburn Shutters into turn 1. They're going to get the green as soon as they come out of this last turn. And here we go. Live and sideways for the 7 of Schwartz. Spins it off of the first corner. David Farmer overshoots the entrance of that corner and a 1. And to lead lap number 1, it's going to be the 44 of Shutters, holding on about 1.2 seconds over Hawkins. And with the mistake that the 7 car makes there on the start of the race, if we can go back and watch that really quickly. This is all right at the start of the race. Just gets loose and sends it sideways right in front of the field. Hubie gets caught up in that. So your points leader involved. Back to a live shot. Rafael Hubie is trying to catch up to GT Hawkins. He's about 2.5 seconds back from the 14. So 13 cars out here on the racetrack. The 42 of Cody Anderson parks it down pit road. So he is off the track now here tonight. through the final 2 in the chicane. Shutters is going to lead another time by and start lap number 3 out of 55. Hawkins losing a little bit more time that last time by, about 0.7 of a second slower than the 44 of Shutters. Hubie about 0.3 faster as they come out of the final of the infield, exiting the Roval. Not a lot going on the racetrack right now. Jonathan Cofield having his hands full with Brandon Holder and going to the inside of James Silvers here. Locks it way up and gets some air into the back chicane. And there's some action for you. The 58 car sends it a little too deep. And I'd have to say the underpinning on that car is probably destroyed. Well, that's unfortunate there for the 58 car. He was up inside almost to the top 5. Now finds himself struggling. Schwartz is able to recover a little bit here, though. He's worked his way back up to the 8th position. And Cofield goes by. It looks like Schwartz is struggling a little bit here. Hubie makes a mistake, loses a ton of time. Last time by, he was a second slower than Hawkins, so maybe pushing it a little bit too hard here. Looks like he's got some rear end damage on that 21 as well. Michael Kostick on board with him now. Starting in 6th, he's picked up 2 spots. James Silvers, the biggest mover of this race so far. He's up 4 positions. And as I say that, Jonathan Atkins just makes a pass. And it looks like Schwartz is coming down pit road. So still about 0.3 faster here for the 44. He's maintained the lead so far. 4 laps in. And cutting that corner sharp. Really what it's about at this racetrack is who makes the least amount of mistakes. You can see Hawkins there through the bus stop chicane, making up a little bit of ground, but then giving it all back here. And you can hear the front splitters hitting the racetrack through those corners. That time by, Hubie still about 0.5 slower than the 14. Michael Kostick, James Silvers, about 5 seconds back. 9 seconds back from the lead. So this field already spreading out. Look how long you have to wait here for the 21 to come around. There's the 8 of Caustic, the 17 of Silvers. Brandon Holder, now Jonathan Atkins, Jonathan Cofield, Sean Kaiser, another 3 seconds back. And he's about to have his hands full with the 84 of David Farmer. And now the 24 pulling it down pit road. So Sean's going to come down. I don't know if these are scheduled stops. A lot of these drivers, I know we have a stage break here, but a lot of these drivers come down pretty early. Last time by Hawkins was only a tenth slower, but this lead has grown out to well over 2 seconds here. You see Schwartz there, didn't go a lap down, but he is on the verge of it. A little heavy there on the brakes, gets a little out of shape. All that left side damage from spinning out at the start of this race. .44 Shutters loses a little bit of time. Last time by, not exactly sure how this is happening because last time through, he was 4/10 faster than Hawkins. So I'm not exactly sure if he's just having a bad lap this time around. And you can hear the front end dragging all the way across the racetrack on the onboard with the 14. Hawkins slowly in 7 blows his motor right in front of the leader. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there with the 7 of Schwartz, but he slams the outside wall right in front of the leader Shutters and might cost him a ton of time. He just drags it right into the wall. Almost costs Shutters a position there with that move. And now Schwartz going to park it behind the wall for the night. Hawkins about half a second back. Kubi starting to catch up now. Back into the picture. About 4 seconds separating him. Silvers takes over the 4th position. Some of these drivers that came down pit road early. Yeah, Daniel Cunningham, Sean Kaser, and it looks like Caustic went down pit road here. Back out on the track now. Falls back to 9th. There's David Farmer coming down pit road as well. Tops off with some fuel, back out onto the track. So no mistakes yet for Shutters other than the turbulence that he's had to deal with from the 7 since the start of this race. Able to keep it together, though, and maintain the lead. Now stretching it back out to almost a full second as they go into the final chicane. The 44 going to come by to lead lap number 10, starting on lap number 11. So stage break at lap 22. That'll be about halfway here tonight. And we're halfway to that stage break. Starting lap 11, the 44 gets really wide there into turn 7. Hubie has it down to 3.8 seconds now. But as I go through 3 and 4, that stretches back out to 4.5 seconds. Hubie last time by about 0.4 off GT Hawkins. Battle shaping up here between Silvers and Holder. Holder trying to take over the 4th position. Silvers has held on to it. He's up 5 spots. Maybe a possible move into 1 here. Holder goes to the inside. He peeks down there, but doesn't get the nose. But does make the 17 take it a little wide into 1. Into turn 4 now, still nose to tail. Just trying to hold it together here for the 17 as the pressure gets put on him. Here they come through NASCAR 1 and 2. Holder still all over the back bumper, less than a half a second. Into the braking zone for the chicane on the backstretch. Little mistake there for the 17. That allows Holder to get back up on the rear bumper into NASCAR 3 and 4. And now with the slipstream, can Holder make a move? Oh, little mistake there for the 17. He hits the rumble strip, sends it to the outside. Holder doesn't have anywhere to go just yet. Next closest driver to this battle is going to be the number 8 of Caustic, and he is 22 seconds back from this. So a big gap from this top 5 to the 6th place driver. Battle starts to subside there, but the battle for the lead starts to heat up. Now into the final chicane here for lap 14. Shutter's still holding on to the lead. He's led every single lap, but Hawkins gets within a couple of tenths of him there for a moment. That last time by, Hawkins was about 0.4 faster. Little tag with the wall there for the 14. He's going to lose a lot of ground now. Makes a slight little miscalculation on when to cut that corner. Now back up on the bumper of the 44 of Shutters as they exit the bus stop. Hooby slowly working his way closer. He's about 3 seconds, and it's just kind of frustrating here for Hooby because he's trading lap times with Hawkins and just never able to actually make up the ground. Maybe once we bunch these guys back up from the stage break, Hooby, a little outside action on the wall there. Hooby might be able to get some of that damage fixed and catch back up to the 14 and the 44. The battle's still hot here for the lead. No change for the lead just yet. Lap 15 underway. 44 of Shutters. Keeping together here. Takes it a little wide there in the bus stop. He's down to the bottom in 3 and 4. And there goes the 44. Back to second. Hawkins takes over the lead. Going to lead this time by for his first lap. And Shutters has Hooby starting to creep up. No one behind Hooby. James Silver's 10 seconds back in the 4th position. 2.6 seconds separating the 44, who has fallen off. 1.7. Hawkins shot out of a rocket as soon as he got around the 44. So coming by to lead his second time around, as GT Hawkins takes over the lead. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Dweck.
A punt from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live, Bluegrass Cup Series at the Roval. GT Hawkins takes over the lead on lap 15. He's since led 3 laps. So bringing it down pit road hot. These drivers gonna come down to get 4 tires, I think, maybe, just before the stage break. They've got about 4 to go, and Shutter's gonna follow suit as they come down the pit lane. There's Silver's in as well. Hoobie hit pit road before these drivers, so Hoobie might be the beneficiary. We'll have to see, because in the lane, it looks like Hoobie with an 8.5 second pit stop. But down and away here for Hawkins and Shutters, Hoobie about 2 seconds back as far as time goes. So losing a little bit of ground for the 21. But about to get bunched back up. There's the 14 of Hawkins, about 1.2 back to Radburn Shutters. James Silvers, he just now comes down pit road with these drivers back and forth, 9 seconds back from the 3rd place driver. And then there's Jonathan Atkins, biggest mover of the race, 6 positions up from where he began, back in 11th. He has Brandon Holder breathing down his neck, though. And here comes Hawkins around to start lap 20. There's David Farmer in the 8th position, trying to catch up to Michael Kostick as they go into the final chicane. Coming across the line now to start lap 20 for them. All the cars still on the racetrack are on the lead lap. Cody Anderson and John Schwartz electing to park it behind the wall early here tonight. The 7 got off to a bad start and then almost ran into the leader across the final corner. Battle starting to shape up, though, for the 6th position. 7th, rather, for Kostick. There's Atkins in front of him. So keeping it relatively honest, you have the 44 of Shutters, who had a great start to this race. He stayed within about a second of Hawkins, but Hawkins has just looked like he got shot out of a cannon. As soon as he got past the 44, it looked like he took off. And he hasn't looked back since. Starting lap 21, just before the stage break, and the 14 looking like he's going to get P1 points for this stage. Unless he makes a mistake, it's really his battle to lose here with a nice 1 second cushion over the 44. Hubie about 0.6 of a second slower than both these drivers. Shutters a little bit faster that last time by. We'll have to wait and see what he pulls off this time. But last time, a 120.4. This time by, he's about a tenth slower. So trading lap times with Hawkins, who's ironed out those wrinkles and begin the final lap of this stage. Hawkins just maintaining that gap and holding it together. And really, this is the closest battle on the racetrack. You could go back here to David Farmer, who got around Michael Kostick. There's Jonathan Atkins, the next driver, and let's see if the 84 can catch up to him. He does shave away a little bit more time. You can see Hawkins and Shutters down the backstretch here. But in the NASCAR 3 and 4, down for the final chicane, it looks like Hawkins is going to get stage 1. He's got it all locked up. Across the line here. And that's going to complete stage number 1. So there's your stage winner. Hawkins going to come in the first position, second spot, Radburn Shutters, and then third, Rafael Hubie. Across the line. Atkins able to hold on over top of Farmer as they race back around to get caught up to the pace car. So a long ways to go here before they catch up to the pace car. They're going to complete a lap under yellow. Almost up to speed for the drive around, about 5 seconds off. And there's the pace car now coming out. And here we go, grouping this field back up. On the clutch here for the 21. And we have seen some drivers make mistakes trying to catch back up to this pace car before, here on V-Speed. Very easy to do. But now the field bunched back up. looks like the last car to get caught up will be Daniel Cunningham in the 11th spot. I'd like to see a lot of these drivers are going to come down pit road and get 4 tires. The stage brake does help with mitigating mistakes that you can make on pit road. You saw how hot they entered pits to top off with fuel to make it to the end of that stage. And we're going to have about the same distance as that first stage for the remainder of this race. So you know that drivers are going to have to come back down pit road. Who's going to take the gamble and not take tires? On that final stop, I think it might be one of those just top off with fuel. Save yourself about 4 or 5 seconds on pit road. But here they come now. Let's see the strategy for some of these guys. There's Silvers hitting his stall first. Atkins just behind him. The 14 of Hawkins. Shutters hits his stall. And down and away for Hubie. A quick top off for a lot of these cars. So Rafael Hubie takes over the lead. .6 seconds on that stop. Brandon Holder also out ahead of these guys. Some of these guys must have taken a full tank of fuel. We'll have to wait to see. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live, Bluegrass Cup Series, getting ready to double back up. Coming out of NASCAR 3 and 4 currently. Rafael Huby and Brandon Holder take over the front row. GT Hawkins, Radburn Shutters, the battle for the lead before this stage break. James Silvers, David Farmer, Michael Kostick, Sean Kaser, Jonathan Cofield, and Jonathan Atkins, the top 10. Daniel Cunningham back in 11th. Cody Anderson and John Schwartz take an early exit to this race. John Schwartz, who started outside the pole, had some problems there at the start of this race. And Cody Anderson electing it to bring it into the pits very early. Let's see what Huby has as they go into turn 1. Hopefully no mistakes that we had at the start of the beginning of this race. GT Hawkins winning the first stage. Shutters and Huby first, second, third. And here we go, getting ready to go green for the second time this evening. Huby on the inside, Holder on the outside. Green flag is out, and we're back live and racing. And a little bit of problems there for the 14 of Hawkins. He fell back to 5th. He does get back by James Silvers, but a little mistake there into NASCAR 1 and 2. And in the infield there in turns 2, turns 3, Hawkins gets a little bit loose off of 2 and almost clips the outside wall. He's since gained that position back. But Huby going to lead his first lap of the day here with Holder on the back bumper. Shutters trying to chase him down. Huby maintaining that gap over Brandon Holder by about half a second. The 9 car, highest position for him today, as he was fighting back in the top 5 at one point during this race. What's up, buddy?
What you doing? What you doing?
I'm broadcasting. Buddy. Go. You gotta go. Go play. And there's Rafael Huby leading for another time by into NASCAR 3 and 4 out of the final bus stop, or out of the bus stop into the final chicane. Shutters loses about 1.5 seconds to the leader. Hawkins 3.5, almost 4 seconds back. So he has a lot of work to do, and Hubie taking advantage of this, and the 14 gets really out of shape there in the final chicane, loses a position, back to Silvers. Farmer now into the mix. So the points leader able to take over the lead. He's 1 second back, or 1 second over Brandon Holder, and that's a pretty impressive move there on pit road. Just a couple tenths faster than Holder, but we're talking about almost a full second over Hawkins. And that gets him out of pit road first. Hawkins falls back to the 5th spot. David Farmer just behind that. Silvers takes over 4th. And this could hold up the 14 of Hawkins after a couple mistakes. There's Cofield making, I believe that was Cofield, making a little touch with the outside wall coming out of turn 16. Looks like the 58 struggling a little bit here tonight. Started in 7th, has fallen back 1 spot. Trying to catch up to Michael Kostick. So maintaining the gap of about 1 second is the 21 of Hubie. Brandon Holder 2nd, Radburn Shutters 3rd. And nobody really making any battles here. Silvers pulls out almost a second over top of Hawkins, starting to check out from the 14. These tires are very old and used. They've been on the same set since they took the green here tonight. Some of these guys did elect to take pit stops and take 4 tires. You can see Farmer is on fresh tires, but still not able to pass Hawkins, which is kind of surprising to me that 4 tires isn't able to drive up there and pass the 14. Kostick, another one of the drivers that took 4 during that stage break. And he too, not catching up to this front pack. So very interesting that these guys are able to hold it together that well on fuel only. Now the first car that did take 4 tires, he has fallen off 7, almost 8 seconds. And that's David Farmer over Roval Hubie. That's a big gap for taking 4 tires. These guys a little off the pace here tonight. Hubie takes over the lead at lap 24 rather. And the 21 pulling away from Brandon Holder, making that gap a little bit bigger each lap. So I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you, if you haven't subscribed to V-Speed, make sure you do so. Never miss a single race as we bring you the remaining of the season here from Bluegrass Cup Series. Next week, Darlington, the 1.366 mile oval, the Egg, the Lady in Black for 188 laps. That'll start round 3 of the chase, where we eliminate another 4 drivers. We'll bring it down to your top 8. Points up there on your screen as we talked about. Rafael Hubi leading 1 point over GT Hawkins here tonight. Coming into this race, and Hubi knows what he needs to do. Pulls a little bit of strategy out and gets ahead of Hawkins, who's fallen back to 5th. So that lead could grow even more for the 21 here tonight. Atkins, who is in the 10th position, looks like he might lose ground to David Farmer, who's up in 5th. But the top 5, Hubi, Holder, Shutters, Silvers, and Farmer, as Hawkins falls back to the 6th position. So 10 laps led here for the 14. Not going to be the most laps led. That belongs to this driver currently. But after we went back green, Shutters has fallen off. He is 4.8 seconds back. And then you're on board here with the 21, who's approaching most laps led and has a pretty sizable gap to do so. Daniel Cunningham comes down pit road. It looks like I think he might be done for the day. The 57 of Atkins goes 2 laps down. He has been on pit road now for about 2 minutes, so he might be done as well. There's Cofield and Kaser. Atkins off the track, so Kaser the last one on the lead lap, 21.6 seconds back. You're watching Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. Not a lot of action out there on the racetrack. Hawkins starting to catch back up to Farmer. So this is for the 5th position. Going to dive down here in NASCAR 1 and 2 and try to take away a position for 5th. Side by side into the bus stop, the 14 back into the top 5. There's James Silvers ahead of Hawkins. He would be the next position gained for the number 14. But a pretty sizable gap of about 3 seconds. Almost 4 as they go into turn 3. Rafael Hubi pulls the lead out to over 3 seconds now into NASCAR 1 and 2. The 21 is on another level. He's checked out and now competing for most laps led as he comes around to lead lap number 11 out of 35 laps into this race. And Hubi taking over the lead during the stage break. He hasn't looked back since. A little bit of damage on the back end of that car he picked up on lap 1 with the 7 of Schwartz making that mistake on the outside. Came across the nose. The 21 had to check up, gets rear-ended. Not exactly sure who hit him in the rear, but Brandon Holder also an excellent move on pit road as he gets up to the top 3. Holder keeping tabs on 2nd position. And he's about 2.2 seconds ahead of Radburn Shutters, who started on the pole here today, trying to chase these two down. 5.5 seconds back. The lead growing a little bit more each lap. And just doing an excellent job here for Shutters. He gets ahead of Hawkins. He's checked out almost 6 seconds ahead of him. Hawkins looking like he needs something dramatic to happen to the 21 if he wants any chance to get back up there to the lead. The gap growing now, 13 seconds back to the 14 car. Coming up on lap 37. Look at the gap back there to Silvers. And an even bigger gap back there to Hawkins. It's an incredible drive here for the 21 as he continues to stretch out that lead. Jonathan Cofield and Michael Kostick would be probably the closest cars on this racetrack right now. Cofield trying to get back to where he started this race. He's about 1.5 seconds back. So this is the point where we usually like to tell you, find the volume knob here on V-Speed. And let's turn it up here for a lap or two. Riding on board now with Rafael Hubi. So the battle's starting to shape up here with Farmer, Kostick, and Cofield. This is 6th through 8th position. Farmer maintaining that gap by about 1 second over Kostick, but Cofield had it down under a second. Since then, made a little mistake there on that last lap. Gives some of that ground back to the number 8. Rafael Hubi pulls out 5 seconds ahead of Brandon Holder, 7 seconds over Shutters. We're talking about 12 and 15, 22, 24, and 35 seconds all the way back to Kaser. Just a massive lead here for Hubi. We'll have to see what he does down pit road. No mistakes can be made if you want to win this race, because if you get a speeding penalty, that's going to set you back, and this lead will mean nothing for the 21. He has to be perfect down pit road. About 15 laps to go. Brandon Holder also in the same boat. He gained a lot of positions on the stage break So he too has to be perfect if he wants to maintain this podium finish. Shutters, unfortunately, gets bested on the strategy, falls back to third. He has taken over the battle that him and GT Hawkins were having, but Hawkins making some mistakes, falling back to fifth. Here's the guy in front of Hawkins, James Silvers, about 2.5 seconds ahead of the 14, but 13.5 from the lead. There's Hawkins, who led quite a few laps, and most laps led now going to Rafael Hubi. David Farmer just behind that, and this battle's starting to spread back out. There's Kostick in front of Jonathan Cofield. This is 7th and 8th position. Closest cars on the racetrack right now. So we'll just have to wait and see what these guys have in store for us down pit road. Another lap led, 16 now for Hubi. And he's going to get those bonus points for a lap led, most laps led here tonight. Unless he makes a mistake and Shutters is somehow able to get back around, it's looking like the 21 car is going to get the most led. Well, we've got about 15 laps to go. You're watching Roval Racing for the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. We're going to take another quick commercial break and be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin there cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live on V-Speed. Bluegrass Cup Series has completed 43 of the 55 laps here tonight at the Roval. And Rafael Hubi, taking over the lead during that stage break, hasn't looked back since. Four cars off the track here tonight. Jonathan Atkins, Daniel Cunningham, Cody Anderson, and John Schwartz pulling it down pit road. The number 8 of Michael Kostick is the last car on the racetrack in 9th. It's only 13 cars starting the race here tonight. A lot of these guys have seen their stage, and with the chase format being eliminated, saw that the opportunity was pretty much gone to be a part of the final 8. So that might have a little bit to do with it tonight, but here comes the 21 down pit road. Perfect entry for the 21. And does he take 4 tires, or is it going to be a fuel-only stop? Brandon Holder down as well. Shutters in. Silver's coming down pit road. Hawkins going to bring it down as well. And a perfect entrance for him as well. Well done. 21 in his stall. Does he take tires? No, he will not. He's down and away, and the 21 back out on the racetrack. So filling this car back up with fuel will make it a little bit loose, but a perfect in and out here for the 21. He gets about a 5-second lead over Brandon Holder, maintaining that gap down pit road. Shutters about 8 seconds back. Silver's still out ahead of Hawkins, and Hawkins just now leaving his stall, 18.5 seconds back. So nobody really electing to stay out an extra lap and get any kind of advantage. I'm kind of surprised to see that none of these drivers decided to take tires. It appears that everyone down pit road does a fuel-only stop here tonight. So you can see the gap back here to Brandon Holder growing a little bit more as time goes on. And as we come up on 10 to go, Hubie just on another level here tonight. So no battles really going on the racetrack. Was trying to find something to work with here, but these guys all spread out about 4 seconds each. Jonathan Cofield, 4 seconds back from Michael Kostick, who's 5.5 seconds back from Farmer, 8 seconds back from Hawkins. It's pretty spread out. The closest battle on the racetrack is actually Shutters to Holder, and that's 2.5 seconds. And that is growing as time goes on. Does shave down a little bit of that time to 2.1, so Holder might be in trouble here before the end of this race for the second position. We'll have to wait and see what's in store from the 44 who started on the pole here tonight. James Silver's up 5 positions from where he began the race. Biggest mover still this far into it. Currently riding in the 4th position, but 5 seconds back from Radburn Shutters. Doesn't look like he's going to have the opportunity to catch back up to him. Hubie into the bus stop now for another lap led. 10 laps to go for the 21. And pretty quiet out here on the racetrack here tonight. I'm trying to find something to talk about, anything to talk about. But the main thing that comes to mind is the points advantage that Hubie had. Hawkins was able to lead some laps here tonight, but loses it during the stage. And now with the 21 up in the front It looks like he's going to grow that 1 point lead out a little bit after tonight. Most laps led, the bonus points, an incident-free race. Not sure if this league does give out. He gets decent stage points, finishing back in third. And with the final order here, with a 4-position gap to Hawkins, it looks like Hoovy's going to maintain that lead going into the final 2 weeks, or 3 weeks rather, with Darlington, Martinsville, and Homestead left on the schedule. Martinsville could be a toss-up there. We know that Darlington's a tough track to get around. But Homestead, the 1.5 miles. We've seen Hawkins do really well at all the 1.5 mile racetracks. So we'll have to see if that is the point where Hawkins is able to win the championship, or if Hoovy's going to take it over and never look back. The yellow banner on all these cars out here tonight. You see what Holder has to do, trying to make the cut for the top 8. And as we come to the end of this season, ending on November 8th, Wednesday night, we'll go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it. Write it down on your calendar because it's going to be a good one. When the Bluegrass Cup Series wraps up their final race of the season. Holder starting to get under fire, though. 1.7 seconds separate second and third position. And now this is becoming the closest battle on the racetrack. Can Holder hold on to it for about 8 more laps? Six laps to go now as he crosses the line. Looks like Holder loses a little bit more time to Shutters. Now down to just about a second. And Hooby hasn't turned it down at all. He's about 0.2 faster this time around. His average pace has been on point. He's going to come by this time a 120.772. Brandon Holder just now getting around here for a 120.283. So Holder a little bit faster that time by. Does the 9 car have enough? I don't know. 5 laps to go. He's going to need more than that. He's going to need more than half a second a lap. Unfortunately for Hawkins here, this battle so far ahead of him, 8 seconds to Silvers. Doesn't look like he's going to have the opportunity to gain or mitigate any of the damage here tonight. 5th position, still admirable, though, for the Roval. I know that personally I can't drive this racetrack as well as these guys have done here tonight. So kudos to them for keeping it pretty clean. Let's see if he's able to bring it home in 5th. Out of NASCAR 3 and 4, Hooby going to take the 5 to go signal now. And the 21 machine with a massive lead. Going to try to capitalize on the points battle over GT Hawkins. Take another look at your points here as we ride around the racetrack with the 9 of Holder. You see Holder there. He needs a good night tonight. Has to get ahead of James Silvers, and only 1 point separate the number 17 from the number 9. So this can eliminate James Silvers as well from points contention if Holder can hold it together for just 5 more laps. Shutter's another one of those drivers, but he's far enough ahead, I believe, of Holder that it won't matter that he's finishing behind the 9. I think he's got himself locked into the top 8. Now 4 to go here for the 21. Holder and Shutters getting ever so closer to each other. Down to about a second as they go into the final chicane. The 44, your pole sitter, trying to get back up to second. Loses a little bit of time there to Holder as they come into NASCAR 1 and 2. The 9 maintaining that gap really well. Nice and smooth here for the 21. He does give up a little bit of time there into the bus stop, now into the final chicane. Let's see if he loses any more time to the 9. Looks like he gets a pretty good drive out of there. The 9 with almost an identical line. These guys doing a great job touching those the bumps on the rumble strips. But Hubie able to maintain 4.5. Actually stretching it back out to about 5 seconds. 3 laps to go here for Hubie. All he has to do is keep it shiny side up. And this could be another victory here. The 3rd win of the season for the 21. Checking back here with the last car on the racetrack. That's the 24 of Sean Kaser. And Kaser started back in about the 12th position. Yeah, 12th spot here for the 24. But he's the last car still on the racetrack. Going to try to wrap up the night after getting eliminated in the points. I can say with certainty the 24 going to be out of the picture there for the top 8, but unfortunate for him. There's Jonathan Cofield, who got eliminated during the top 12, just barely missed the cut there. Was able to make the top 16, but the 58 looking like he's struggling here in the 8th spot. Back to Michael Kostick of about 5.3 seconds. 2 laps to go now for Raphael Hubie. And the 21 Extreme Sim Racing machine. Looking fantastic here tonight. Coming into the bus stop, into NASCAR 3 and 4. The 21 just has to get around this place one more time. 18 corners left. And the 21 will go into the final 8, leading the points, leading the vast majority of this race. White flag up in the air now for the 21. .5-second lead coming into these final corners through the infield here into turn 4, now into turn 5. And the 21 putting on a clinic here in the second stage of this race. Now coming up onto the Roval exit into NASCAR 1 and 2. Nice and smooth here, still gaining some time. And that's Kaser just now coming out of the bus stop. Shouldn't be a factor here. Now into NASCAR 3 and 4 for the final time. Rafael Hubi just has 2 more corners to get it done here tonight. Hard on the brakes into turn 15, into 16, and across the start-finish line, it's Rafael Hubi, your winner here tonight at the Roval. Brandon Holder coming across in second, Radburn Shutters third. The battle between Silvers and Hawkins, they were far, far away from this battle for third, second, and third, but here comes Silvers across the line. Hawkins coming out of NASCAR 3 and 4 now. David Farmer even further back. But how about the 21? As Hubi makes his parade lap, we can confirm that he will be leading the points into the final 8. Stretching that points lead out a little bit more over Hawkins as they go in to chase race number 5. And a little congratulatory salute from the 9 of Holder, the 44 of Shutters, as they go on and back around to pit road. So there's a 21 here tonight. Thought he was going to burn it down on the front stretch, but he comes all the way back around just to park it at the entrance of pit road. Post-race interviews with your top 3. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. More coverage after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Marty's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Roval gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Back here live, Bluegrass Cup Series has concluded their 55-lap race. A little bit of hang time there for the 58. We saw a little bit of action there during the stage breaks as well. The 7 of Schwartz goes off the racetrack there on lap 1, then hits the outside wall at about lap 11 right in front of your leader, who was at the time the 44 of Radburn Shutters. And speaking of your third-place finisher here tonight, is going to be the number 44. We're down here on pit road with the number 44 of Shutters, and man, I tell you what, it looked like you had the car to beat there. You got out to a great lead. John Schwartz wrecks into the outside wall, gives up a bunch of time, so you lose the lead to Hawkins, and then it just seemed like on pit road something happened there. Can you explain what went on with that strategy? Well, Radburn, you looked pretty good out there. You led 14 laps here tonight. You started on the pole. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out and thank? I think you should lock yourself into the top 8 here with this finish. Well, next week at Darlington, we hope to see you back up here in the broadcast booth. We appreciate your time. Radburn Shutters, third place finisher. Congratulations, man. So there he is, the third place driver. Now let's move on down pit road. We have Brandon Holder, who makes a gutsy call, and he's able to lock himself into the top 8 with that great move. You you did it, man. I mean, that's what you had to do here tonight. Yeah, we were looking at it the way it was shaping up. You were 1 point back, and I believe that was, if I remember correctly, let's bring it back up on the screen. That was James Silvers that you were behind there. So you're able to edge out Silvers, who was in fourth here tonight, put enough gap in between there. Were you worried about Shutters maybe possibly catching up to you? Because I know that would have tightened up the battle there.
Yes, I was. He was getting closer and closer, and I started making mistakes.
Well, we had 55 of them here tonight. With the stage break, you shoot it up into the top 3, and you're able to maintain that. Can we talk a little bit about, were there limited tire sets? Did nobody want to take tires? What was the deal? Nobody looked like they came down for 4 of them all night.
Yeah, the good part of it was I made a mistake last year.
So it looks like the heat and the tires, you're able to maintain a bit faster lap times. You guys were not really far off from your beginning laps, actually picking up the pace a little bit there towards the end. So congratulations on locking yourself into the top 8. Brandon Holder, do you have anyone you'd like to shout out?
Oh yeah, I owe everything to I was I thought I was fast until I started practice. They got me where I needed to be.
I know that feeling. You unload it off the truck, you get out here on the track, you're thinking, hey, I put in about 100 laps here. Let's see what it's like with some boys on the circuit, and you find yourself 2 seconds slower. I've been there.
Yeah, the good thing is we've got some super fast guys. I appreciate everybody that's part of it. Also got to thank people for my performance. Thank you for broadcasting and you doing awesome.
I appreciate that. Brandon Holder, second place finisher here tonight. Thank you for your time. We'll see you at Darlington next week. So there he is. Second place finisher here tonight, Brandon Holder, and now down in victory lane with the 21, Rafael Hubi, celebrating. I thought it took you a long time to decide if you were going to burn this thing down on the front stretch. You did an entire pace lap, but we finally did get some rare footage of the 21 car burning it down here. You should be celebrating because you came in here with the points lead and you stretched it out a little bit more over to Hawkins with this win here tonight. How are you, Hubi? It didn't go well. Well, I mean, we saw that here tonight with, it looked like the 7 of Schwartz came across the nose. Did you think maybe that was going to be the end of your race? I know we had the stage break to reset, but man, it just looked like it was over from there. Yeah. I mean, it was looking good all night, Hubie. You stretch out the lead a little bit, and as we go into Darlington, what's in store for us for the Lady in Black? Yeah, I mean, it's strange how that works, man. It seems like all these leagues they'll put right there at the end, they'll put a road course or a short track in there just to throw anybody off, but you're able to capitalize on that. Now it's just a matter of setting it on cruise control and finishing out the season, hopefully on top. Hubie, do you have anybody you'd like to shout out and thank for tonight's victory? We appreciate your time. Rafael Hubie getting the win here tonight at the Roval and stretching out that lead over GT Hawkins a little bit more. Appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to next week at Darlington. So there it is tonight, your winner. Did a little celebrating. Let's bring up that final grid, that final result order for the 13-car field here tonight. Looks like we've got the top three with Hubie, Holder, and Shutters. James Silver is going to bring it home in fourth. GT Hawkins, fifth spot. Going to lose a little bit of ground to the 21. David Farmer in sixth. Seventh, Michael Kostick. Jonathan Cofield in eighth. Sean Kaser, ninth. And Jonathan Atkins parking it behind the wall will round out your top 10. These cars also off the racetrack for 11th position. Daniel Cunningham in the 85, going to bring it home 11th. 12th spot, Cody Anderson, 43 laps down in the 42, will be 12th. And 13th is John Schwartz in the number 7 after a tough start to this race, starting in second position. Going to bring it home again in 13th. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here at the Roval. Bluegrass Cup Series is going to Darlington at 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday. If you haven't hit the subscribe button here on V-Speed, make sure to do so you never miss a single race. We bring you flag-to-flag coverage on V-Speed. But for everybody that made this race possible, I'd like to thank Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Connor Horn, Alec Martinez, and Morgan Cook, our newest addition. This is Bradley Cooper signing off. Take care, everybody, and have a great weekend.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes
Dweck. A punch from the 33.
It's a drag